What up, guys? It's Dr. Vic, and you're listening to The Mindful Experiment. Excited to have you on here today. So much is going on in the world. Do you feel that tension? Do you feel the ups and downs? Have you been feeling the roller coaster of emotions? Have you been up and down and depressed, excited, great, feeling amazing? Next day, oh, I don't have energy. If you've been there, that's okay. There's a lot happening in the world. You know, in the United States, we got this whole thing of an election still going on. Then we have COVID, right? That thing. And so much more is happening, but there's so much other things going on that's influencing our energy. And in today's episode, I really want to dive in and talk just a little bit about this and what you can do to kind of help you in the process, because I really think at this time, it's critical, it's vital for you to start focusing on you just a little bit more. I've been sharing this with patients for like the last 2 months in my office, in my chiropractic office. And to some of my clients, I've been talking a little bit about this in my coaching and my one-on-one groups and so forth, about how important it's been. And I've been saying this for the last couple of months, how to build up your reserves, how to take time for you. There's a lot of things happening, and there's some big stuff coming up in the next week, to the next few weeks, actually. That's going to truly change the game for us as humans as we evolve to the next level. At least from the celestial field, it's shifting and changing. And we're all interconnected. Whether you believe in this stuff or you don't, we are interconnected. And what happens in the universe influences here on this little tiny blue little planet of ours. Before we begin, I just want to share there's so much that's going on with the Mindful Experiment. We've been creating, I've been talking about my Life Mastery class, and I highly recommend check it out. It's in the show notes. It's amazing content that we've shared. Right now for 2020, we're keeping the price at a certain range, but it will be bumping up an extra, I don't even know what it ends up being. But point is that we're going to be bumping that up. So check that out. Try to get the discount. I promise you, with everything that went on in 2020, this is a class you want to learn so you can really master 2021 and create the reality of what you desire. Another thing I've been asked, and I've been asking both groups, both Mindset, the Mindset group, the podcast, people have reached out to me, and I've also been asked by patients of mine about, hey doc, I want to learn more about mindfulness. How can we get into this? What can we do? And I've been surveying people to understand, okay, what do people want? What is something that they need? Because I create a lot of content, but it's great, but I want to make sure that I'm giving you guys substance, right? It's what you need. You are if you're on the podcast and that you're a subscriber, I want to hear from you. I want to know, what is it that you need? What can I do to help serve? I'll create podcast episodes. I have no problem. I'll create extra videos and put them on my YouTube channel. If you're a subscriber on my YouTube channel, let me know, shoot me a DM. I'm here to support. There's a lot happening in the world, and I want to be able to support as best I can in for moving into 2021 and so much more. But I've been asked to do this, and I'm going to be creating something called the Mindful Chiropractor. So you have the Mindful Experiment, right? That's the podcast. If you've been listening, you know the vibe, you know the gig of what we do here. But I'm going to be sharing something called the Mindful Chiropractor, and I'll be sharing stuff where I do an exclusive podcast at least a week, every video. I'm going to do a special interview with some people in there. And then you're going to get meditations and guided meditations and journaling and power of visualization and homework and techniques. I'm going to put this all into the thing so you get a piece of me every month, because some people love to do one-on-one coaching, and you get all that. With my one-on-one coaching, you get my Life Mastery course, you get any online course I do in the process, because I'm there to help teach and educate and empower you in a short time. We are launching a master class coming up in a couple months, where I'll be taking people on a 3-4 month journey, and we're going to create massive transformation. It's those who are overachievers. They don't want to wait over a period of time. So we have a lot going on here. So I don't want to make this seem like this is a commercial on the podcast or the video I'm doing here. But one of the things I just want to make sure I'm emphasizing, that keep a lookout on these things. If you want to follow with me, just get on my website, empoweryourreality.com. Go ahead and subscribe. You get the first 3 chapters of my book for free. Just go ahead and click on the top of the website, and you'll get the first 3 chapters of my book called A Walk in the Dark for free for you to enjoy. It's been my gift for 2020 to try to help people. I had it actually on Kindle for quite some time for free. About 4 or 5 times we did it, just to try to help people with the darkness and so much more. So I highly recommend that. Now, back to the show, though. When we get into life and what's happening and all the ups and the downs and everything that's going on in life today, it is one of the things that I have learned, that you have to focus, right? And I want you to visualize a hurricane. If you've been listening to my podcast, I've talked about this in episodes before. How a hurricane has the eye. You go look at the satellite view, no matter what, there's always the eye in the hurricane. And the thing is about that eye, it's extremely calm. Okay. There's not a lot of chaos that's going on there. It's bliss, it's sunny, it's calm, no wind, right? But just miles and miles away from there, there is massive chaos. Okay. This year, most people have experienced a massive hurricane bigger than what they're used to. And or they just let themselves get away from the centerness. We didn't give us enough time to charge the batteries more. We didn't build our reserves enough. And so it's one of the things where how do we get to that center, right? What are things we can do that no matter what happens in our life, no matter what's showing up for us, we're able to get to that center, right? And I think that's the key to life, because there's times, I'll be honest, I'm human. I was talking to my shaman this morning and we were talking about my humanness. I'm like, yeah, I beat myself up sometimes because I'm like, I know these things. How am I going off center? I know I'm doing this. I'm in the storm. I'm in the chaos. I opened the doors for it, right? And you want to take time for you. Now, can be journaling, gratitude, doing something fun, watching comedies, unwinding, doing something new and different. It's just something to recharge your batteries, right? Disconnecting. We need more disconnection in life in certain ways. Now, I don't mean that from technology, like disconnect just to life in general. But sometimes you need to disconnect or detach from an outcome or something, right? So, for example, what does that mean? You look in life, and right now, I've been talking to a lot of people, and they talk a lot about things just feel like Groundhog Day. Every day I'm just doing the same thing. I'm in the hamster wheel, right? That's all I'm doing. It's always the same thing, the hamster wheel. Well, the key thing is, how do you break out of the hamster wheel? Okay. You do what you have to do and you do what you want to do. There's a difference between the two. And every day you have a choice to choose what it is you want to do. You can do A or B. And the thing about that, though, is how do you keep it interesting? How do you keep it fresh? How do you experience every single day and enjoy the process? Now, this is mastery. It takes time, right? Because the way our mind works is, once you keep fragmenting things and ego keeps compartmentalizing, what it ends up doing is it starts to narrow down and make things not as fun. You can predict what's happening. You know what's happening. As things continually show, ego looks for that because it's trying to create comfort, because that's what the brain's designed to do, is to create comfort. So how do you break out of that? You got to do something new. You got to do something different. You got to change it up. You got to look at things from a different perspective. All it is perspective at the end of the day. Now, that's one way of doing that, right? Second, though, is when it comes to things like meditation and breath work. I've done a lot of things on that on the podcast. You can go back and look at former shows. I've talked about it. I talked about the power of breath work. I've interviewed people who created breath work techniques. We had one lady who, Jen Broyles, which we did just a couple weeks ago, or it's coming up actually, where she'll be sharing a breath work session with us. And so there's so many, people we've interviewed on this podcast to really help you. I've been giving you tools, but this is the time to really focus on you. If you believe in prayer, if you do prayer, you need to pray every day. If you meditate every day. If you breath work every single day. If you journal every single day. If you do gratitude practice, maybe a gratitude meditation, maybe a gratitude focus, maybe a gratitude journal, whatever that is, you got to do it every single day right now. We are in a critical time, and we're coming up to December 21st with the winter solstice happening. And what's happening for the first time in about 800 years, Jupiter and Saturn are coming together, and they're going to create what's known as the Star of Bethlehem. That's what the rumors are. And it's going to be this bright star into the sky. And supposedly, based on Aquarius, the age of Aquarius, and all these other things, this is going to create a massive shift for humanity. We're moving into a new stage. And when we do this, out with the old and with the new, right? So the anxiousness, the nervousness, the uneasiness, that is the old trying to grab on and hold on for dear life because it doesn't want to let go. And that's why you have ups and downs. And that's what we're experiencing in the world today. So the key thing is, how do we, right, break out of that? Well, first, just accept as is. And I know these things sound easy, guys. Acceptance. It's one of the biggest things. You have to accept what is, right? So if you're feeling anxious, accept it, right? But then take some time to yourself, breathe, do some breath work, do some meditation, do something that calms you. Okay. I just mentioned a few things. There's a ton of things out there that you can do to help you reset, but you got to connect within. That's the importance, right? And when you do this stuff, you got to feel, right? A lot of times, and I know I'm one of those, I'm a type A driver individual. So for me, it's like, boom, just getting things done. Let's go, right? That's why I talk so fast. But at the same token, when it comes to my life and stuff, I have to know that when I do meditation, when I do journaling, when I do a gratitude practice or some breath work, I can't just do the work, right? It doesn't give me the beauty, the change, the transformation, the stuff that exists there that's going to be really powerful for me. I have to feel it. Okay. When I breathe, I got to breathe in gratitude, breathe out love. I got to get into this rhythm of things. When it comes to the meditation, right? I got to get really still, get my nervous system and my body really still and focus and bring all my emotions and energy to that and just really get into that moment. When I write, I get into the emotions of writing and I let the emotions come through. The reason why I'm using emotions is because it's my right side of my brain, left side to you guys when you're looking at it. In the video, if you're looking at the video portion of this. But long story short, the right side of my brain, I want to connect more. That's my intuition. That's my emotion center. That's my union. That's my spiritual side, right? Left brain is very compartmentalized, logic, things like that. Like it's black and white, where the right side of the brain is all colors. And so I want to be able to take in and connect. That's where I create connection within myself. I connect with my soul. I connect with my higher being, my truer self. It centers you, okay? This may sound crazy for some people. If you're very analytical, engineering type, or things like that, you like things to be that way, understand that if you ever played sports and you're in the zone, you don't get into the zone from the left side of your brain. You get into the zone from the right side of your brain, because that's where stillness comes in. And that's where you have centeredness within you. And from there, you can go ahead and super focus and let yourself just be, because you ignore everything else and you can just focus on that. Or I shouldn't say the word ignore. It's more you're still aware of it. You just don't put your attention to it. And so, but that's when you're in the zone, is when you have the balance between the two. And so the key thing is take time for you. Okay. If you like hot baths, put some Epsom salt in there and just relax. A little lavender essential oil and just unwind. Take time for you, but you want to do this every single day. You want to do this for quite some time, at least for the next 3 weeks. I would say the next month. By the end of January 20th, I would say that's about a good enough time. Now, I recommend doing this every single day. I recommend practicing this. I recommend making it a ritual in your life, not just to do because I'm telling you. I normally don't give those types of messages. Normally it's like how-tos rather than what-tos. But in this case, it's just because it's a critical point. I thought it was very important for you to understand that in this time, in this place of where we are in humanity, whenever there's a big shift coming, an energetic shift, it throws a lot of things off, and you see a lot of things happen in the physical realms. And we're seeing a lot of that. COVID brought a lot to us, and there's a lot of good. Okay. I always look, it's not that I always look. I know for a fact, with everything that the existence of who I am, that the universe is always working for you. And that no matter what happens in life, it's always for the good. It always is. I've never seen it not. I can make myself see it differently, right? You can see something and go, well, look at all the deaths, or we'll look at all this, or look at all that. That's where you're putting your energy towards. That's where you're putting your attention to. But what if you shift it? Well, what's coming out of this? What's going to good that's going to come out of this? Let's reframe the questions. Reframe the questions and change what you're asking. When you change that, quality of life determines the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions you ask yourself. So change the question, and all of a sudden it changes your life. That's it. I was talking to a client today, and we were talking about how things were going on in life and it wasn't going well, wasn't gelling. And like, how's that a reflection of me? And I said, well, let's change that question. How about what is it that you can learn from this? What is it trying to teach you? What's the universe trying to teach you? What is it trying to show? It could be a reflection that we're all over the place. It could be a reflection that our energy is distorted. It could be a reflection that we're doing too much. So there's different things that we have to look at. And we have to ask the questions to get there. So the key thing is take time, unwind, spend time with family, and just take time to be centered and calm as much as you can. Do the work. and the things that I shared here. If you need help, DM me. If you're a subscriber to this podcast, DM me. Let me know how I can help support you. I'll be launching a few more podcasts coming up. We got Christmas coming up next week. And so I don't have an interview showing up that week, but I'm doing an extra podcast that week. So I want to be able to make sure I am giving you guys content that you're looking for and I can help with. So as always, as we wrap things up, take time for you, because the energy, think of the hurricane. There's a lot more chaos going on in that hurricane. And the key is, how do we get you to get back to the center as much and as quick as possible? And how do we keep you there and build your reserves so you can handle the changes and be ready to rock and roll in your life? As always, I appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the podcast. If you like the podcast, please like and share. If you thought this was inspiring, you know someone who needs it, pay it forward and share it with them. And as always, guys, I appreciate you. Until next episode, keep rocking and rolling.